What is going on, crisis actors? It has been a very long time, what feels like an eternity since I've been able to talk to you in this way. And that way, of course, is being a brand new episode of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, season's greetings to the crisis actors. It's Mary, in case you forgot about me. I have a hot chocolate here to be festive for Advent. I'm enjoying that. And as you can tell, nothing is different about the show whatsoever.
You look the same. It looks the same.
Well, Brett, tell me what it looks like on your end right now. Am I on like the monitor where I usually sit in the studio now?
Yeah, so basically you're off. You're like, so normally that monitor is directly in front of, I wish I had the PTZ camera zoomed out the whole way, but I don't. But like, so originally I had the monitor like basically right in front of your chair, but since you're looking directly at camera, I moved that monitor over so that it's right underneath my camera above.
Got it. Okay, so I'm basically like that teacher in Ned's Declassified that they roll him around on the TV stand with the wheels on it.
Yeah.
I know only the elder Zoomers in the audience are going to get that reference, but that's me right now.
It feels like the Starship Enterprise in here because there's so many freaking monitors everywhere. Because I got the two in front of me. We've got the one on the opposite side of me that faces, so the guest in the side chair can see it. And then we got the monitor that you used to look at. That is still here, but it kind of doesn't serve a purpose anymore. And now we've got this larger monitor, which allows me to monitor the stream on our video program so that I can keep YouTube open in these other two windows. It's a whole thing now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this marks a new chapter in the channel, which is why we have planned to kind of clickbait people once again. It's going to become a yearly tradition for Pop Culture Crisis to have one video that says the truth about our channel.
Yeah, we'll have
because we are telling the truth about the channel. And the truth about our channel, in case you missed us telling you in previous episodes, is that I have moved. So I am no longer going to be in the PCC studio with Brett. We're doing the show remotely, as you can tell. I am in my new apartment. Can't tell you much about the location, but for those who are asking, I feel I am at liberty to say now that I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm looking around and I've settled in quite well all together. I feel pretty proud of myself for the progress I've made so far. There are only 2 bins of clothes next to me that I have not unpacked yet, and then a couple bins of books that are in the other corner. But other than that, I feel pretty at home now. I feel good about this.
We spoke before, though. You said you're not like you're much less tethered to material possessions, though, right? Like you didn't even you moved with less stuff than the average person.
Well, you said that you have no evidence, but you always presumed I live kind of a minimalist lifestyle, which is true, except for the clothes. I'm very stereotypical in that I have an enormous collection of clothes, shoes, and purses that I needed to include in this move, and that was most of the trouble. And very little furniture. I actually got a new desk for the move because I knew I would need a workspace in here. I'm now one of the laptop work from home class, and I feel I'm in a rarefied air now.
Yeah, I mean,
almost
that's
like a consultant.
Yeah, that's rare though, because those jobs are all going to be AI in the next couple of years, anyways. So the difference is
gonna be AI shit.
I did watch a trailer for a horrible Chris Pratt AI movie today that was terrible. You said the weather there is actually pretty good though, or like I guess no, it's chillier than I shouldn't say. You said it was sunny today, but chillier there than I imagined it being in Nashville.
I think people imagine it being much warmer and sunnier maybe than it actually is, but granted, I've only been here for a few days, so I don't know. It's in the 30s, 40s-ish, pretty cold, and today is the first day since I've been here that it's been even slightly sunny.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And earlier we were trying to work out my lighting situation because I looked like I was in a hostage video.
Yeah, you should have had like the newspaper held up with the date on it as proof of life.
Talk about a hostage party, because that was looking like a hostage party. Now, I mean, I've got like 1 part natural lighting, 2 parts artificial lighting. I feel like it's a little better than the setup we initially had. And now I just look like I'm taking my passport photo. I remember like one time I went on Simpcast with Chrissy Mayer, and she said like, "Where are you? It looks like you're taking your driver's license photo," because I was literally just in front of a blank wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, my background does need some work. It needs some dimension, which I plan to improve that
At the
in
very
future
least,
episodes. But right now, we're working with what we've got, okay?
At the very least, we'll get you like a neon light back there so that you can match up color scheme wise. Maybe get you purple. I mean, I don't know if you want to use green back there, but I feel like green would be less good. But get you a purple light for back there.
Green's not my vibe. I know you always resented that pink was one of the channel colors, but I like it.
Well, see, the thing is, like, I would have liked to have moved to yellow, but Gamermaids uses purple and yellow, so can't do that.
No, I'm so glad that we don't have yellow in our color scheme.
Well, it's like there's a certain shade of yellow that fits more with like the it was part of my childhood where like a lot of like those companies were using like those dark purple and yellow color tints, especially right before pastels became really, really popular in like the 2010s when dudes were wearing like not lavender, but they would wear like a lot of teal and light purple. I was like, I don't want that. I want dark purple, yellow, because it feels Pokimane to me. Like those two colors feel Pokimane to me.
Okay, it's a little bit nostalgic.
Yeah.
Well, what's been going on in Brett's life?
So the amount of basically the last week for us was like we wanted to make sure that all of this was going to work when we got everything going. And obviously this started several weeks ago. When we started getting programs set up, getting everything lined up, getting the audio figured out. And then I wanted to run a bunch of test streams with guests because I wanted to see if we could figure out how to get this done without general problems causing. And even today is technically, people are watching this, they're watching this on YouTube after the fact. It's not being shown live. It's being premiered. But the point is like, I wanted to make sure that we had everything in line because we don't want that first show to be like, oh, hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. And that could happen in the future. My hope is that doesn't happen. But basically the last 2 weeks have been a combination of like, I worked all through Thanksgiving. I tried to do like it's really crazy. So I did the 1 hour stream on Sunday because I just wanted to come in and give some type of like setup or like explanation of what's going on because it gets so frustrating when people don't know what is going on, even though you try to repeat it 1,000 times. There's nothing you can do about that. But basically I did that for about an hour, was very, very easy. But the week before I pre-recorded one that would have been just like that with like 3 segments. And it was the worst. It was literally, I pulled it afterwards. I was like, it was so bad that it was just, I could not, first of all, when you talk nonstop for about 45 minutes to an hour, at my rate of speech, first of all, your voice starts to go because you don't inflect enough. Like, I don't have that ability to pare it back and slow down. I can do that on individual segments if I'm like, bro, you got to cut back, especially if it requires a lot of reading on screen. Like the reading gets harder if you're speaking too fast, whereas it's easier if you're just watching something. So that one was horrible, pulled that, and then continued to record segments. So we put out I did about 15 individual segments and then 2 shows, one with Colonel Kurtz and one with Mike Harlow. And so we got like pretty much the same amount of content out last week. The only difference is without live shows, like that's pretty much our bread and butter as people come to watch this channel live, not pre-recorded segments.
Yeah, well, I mean, golf claps for you holding down the fort. Thank you for doing that while I was in the middle of all of this chaos moving. And I have to trauma dump right now.
Go for it.
Because after I thought most of the pain was over, and I had finally started to get my footing here in this new city all alone, I had a traumatic experience the other night.
What happened?
Where I parked in the parking garage for my apartment, and then I went to an elevator, which I thought was the correct elevator to get inside the building. It apparently was not, and I guess I'm just stupid because apparently everybody knows that it's the wrong elevator and that it's broken. So it's broken in a really special way where it lets you inside, but it doesn't let you out. So
wait, so you got stuck?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It was terrifying. So I got in the elevator and I was like totally chill at first, had no idea that anything was wrong. But then obviously like I'm pressing the buttons and they're not doing anything. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to open the elevator and go to a different one. But it wouldn't open either.
Yeah, nobody's pulling that. You're not pulling that elevator door open on your own either. Those things are unbelievably heavy.
That's when I started like panicking a little bit, but I was trying to keep myself together. Then I hit the little bell button, like the call for help button. No one was answering that either. So I just thought, oh my gosh, if I didn't have my phone with me right now, I would literally be abandoned in here and probably, what, I don't know, die? Is that dramatic? I don't know. So yeah, I ended up having to call the apartment staff and have somebody come rescue me. Meanwhile, I was crying on the phone. This is so embarrassing. And meanwhile, the lights go out in the elevator. Yeah, it goes pitch black in the elevator. And even the lights for the buttons are out. And the air conditioning stops. Once again, if I did not have my phone on my person when I got in this elevator, I would literally have zero way to escape. And I probably would have had to like spend the night in there or maybe die in there. Yeah,
like, so how populated was the area outside the elevator? Like, would you be able would you be able to knock on it and hope somebody heard?
I mean, yeah, I guess I would have to do that for a while before giving up. But yeah, someone did actually have to come directly to the elevator and rescue me.
Wait, was it somebody who worked there, or was it somebody? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Like, so that's actually like my dad. When my dad was still my dad used to work for the Army Corps of Engineers, and he was actually in an elevator accident, which is unbelievably rare. Like, there's only a couple of those. Like, from at least what I remember them telling me, like that only happens like a couple of times a year because the amount of safeguards that are put into place on elevators, just because, you know, like they'd never be able to make any money selling elevators if they were getting sued constantly. And to this day, my dad's like, he's like, yeah, I still like double take a little bit when I get onto an elevator. And everybody who gets into an elevator knows, like, if the elevator starts falling, you're like, okay, so what do I do? Do I jump or do I lay flat? Do I jump or do I lay flat?
Well, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know. Like, I always imagine you were supposed to jump, right? Like, when it hits the ground, just as it's about to hit the ground, you jump. But how could you do that? Because you don't know when the crash is coming.
Right. Yeah. So with his incident, it actually went flying.
Like he fell like I guess like one or two more stories and he would have died, but he was laid up for months because of what happened.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank God that didn't happen. It was just the lights going out, which was really scary. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the M. Night Shyamalan movie called Devil, which I have mentioned on the show before as one of the horror movies, like the rare horror movies that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically like the lights keep going out in this elevator. They're all stuck on the elevator and it's like a process of elimination, how they find out which one of them is the devil who's killing one by one.
I like M. Night. Like, the more I read about M. Night Shyamalan, the more I like him, that he just kind of was doing his own thing from the beginning of his career and selling scripts. And he's kind of been allowed, like, even if you don't like his movies, you have to respect the fact that he never had to go and do, like, big studio projects. He just kind of did, like, he made all this weird esoteric art that, like, kind of had its own moment in the early 2000s, and he's like still doing it to this day. Like, bro's like, he's like, it's not a phase, mom. I'm still gonna make the weird esoteric movies.
He's become pretty predictable as the years have gone on, but it's okay. I do like him. Aside from that, I did also visit Buc-ee's for the first time when I was driving here.
Through Texas?
What?
In Texas?
No, like it was I'm pretty sure it was in Tennessee by the time I visited it. It was like near Knoxville.
Okay.
I think. And it has a lovely aroma inside that's like kettle corn mixed with fried chicken, and the bathrooms were pristine.
Like this.
and it had an ambiance that I really appreciated. But I don't know, maybe it's a little bit overhyped.
We used to have like a luxury gas station in Minnesota called Bobby and Steve's, which is like a 2-level.
What?
Well, it was okay. So it was a gas station and it was a garage, meaning like you could get your car repaired there too. I don't know anybody who ever did because I didn't live in Minneapolis at the time. I lived outside the city.
Okay.
But basically, you went in there and it was 2 levels. Like there was stairs going up to a second level, and the first floor had like a full restaurant, like similar to like maybe like not a Roy Rogers, but like basically food that you could get from behind a counter, where it was like fried chicken or burgers or pizza, all that stuff, and then a whole place to sit and eat upstairs with other stuff up there. But you know, we never went there because like if we're out and about, I'm not gonna get pizza from Bobby and Steve's. But if we were out skating and we were in the area, we would absolutely stop there. But now there's more of them all over the state because I'm guessing that the garage part of it expanded, but they don't have all of the amenities that the big one in Minneapolis had. So that's like, that was Minnesota's like sad Buc-ee's knockoff, though I suppose it existed back in the early 2000s. So maybe I guess Buc-ee's is like the expanded version of Bobby and Steve's.
It did feel like a community, like all of the employees were getting along so well and they're actually friends, which was nice.
Yep.
I will say though, I'm gonna miss Sheets. I don't think there are many, if any, Sheets around here. So that's gonna be a big loss for me.
So everybody knows the joke about Sheets tacos. Bro, they introduced Sheets street tacos and they're legit. Like
what does that even mean? What's the difference?
You know, it's like a taco that you would get from like an actual Mexican restaurant, except for obviously cheaper and not as good. But way better. Like the other ones that I would talk about was obviously a meme. I knew they were not good, but it's like
they were like actually not structurally tacos.
No.
They looked more like empanadas.
Yes,
but just like bad empanadas.
Yeah, because it looked like it was supposed to be sealed at the top of the taco.
Yeah, why
but it was
didn't they just call them empanadas?
But now they come in like the little like container that's like angled so that they all sit perfectly in the container. And they taste ergonomic. And they taste legitimately good. Now they're too expensive. I'm not going to spend $7 for 3 street tacos. But like the last time I was on IRL, like I don't remember why, but I had to come in early that day. And by the time I got done doing videos, I was like, I'm literally going to pass out. And that was the first time I ever left here to go and like get food before going on IRL. Best decision I ever made though. But so we've got more to talk about with like what's going on right now. Basically, it looks like we should give people an update on the schedule, what we're going to be doing going forward, going into the new year.
Yes. So going forward, this is our announcement that I am going to be on the show 3 days a week. Ordinarily, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is what you can expect from me on the channel. But in the meantime, on those Tuesdays and Thursdays, Brett is still going to be here.
Yeah. So right now, tentatively, what I have is like Colonel Kurtz is going to join me on Tuesdays. I think we'll keep those streams shorter. They'll probably be an hour. I mean, if they go longer, they go longer. That's fine. But I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Thursday. Depending, with all the news that's coming out around the company right now, this stuff is all up in the air. Because originally, what I wanted to do was I wanted to do like a boys in studio Thursday show. But everybody's got their own jobs and everything going on here is kind of up in the air anyways. So I'm still trying to figure out. I might in the interim maybe turn that into like a 1-hour solo show while we try to figure something out. Or if we can find somebody else that wants to, it's just hard to get people to commit, all their time to doing something.
Of course, if it's outside of what they usually do, like that is a big thing to sign up for.
Yeah.
But in case anyone was confused about that, I'm sure most of you already know, but there was this security breach that occurred at the property. When was that? On Friday last week?
It would have been Friday last week.
Yeah, Friday last week.
Yeah, there was a company.
Where shots were fired at the property, and it seems like, we still don't know who did it or their motivation, but you can make a pretty educated guess as to why that happened, and I'm really glad that nobody got hurt. that was really scary to see that. I saw it as a headline in the Daily Mail. I didn't even hear about it from you or anyone at the company, because I'm sure it was like really chaotic when it happened.
Yeah, and like I said, I saw the video. It's very clear what we
Yeah,
saw, and it's a bit scary. It's a bit terrifying, but it's one of those things where I can't think about that going forward. I just have to keep going forward with this until I'm told otherwise with whatever
of
we're
course.
doing.
Yeah,
Um,
we're
yep,
just trucking along, and we're gonna keep doing our thing,
yep.
as long as circumstances allow it.
Till they pull
Basically,
me off the stage.
yeah,
Till they pull me like,
exactly.
and the thing is like, it's really funny too, because it's like, if I tried to explain this to like literally any, like, my dad knows like my job, he knows what I talk about, but I don't ever get into that side of anything. It'd be like, imagine trying to explain that to like
To
a normal,
anybody,
like to any
really.
normal person. It's like, yeah, like I literally made the joke. I wrote the tweet and then deleted it, or not delete. I didn't post it because I was like, it's probably in bad taste. It's like, imagine me
We're in
just
the drafts.
imagine me just sitting here trying to like dunk on, I don't know, dunk on Disney, and all of a sudden you catch a stray, and it's like, bro, I'm literally nobody. Leave me alone.
A
Um,
literal stray.
it's a literal stray. So it's all of it is kind of surreal in a way,
Yeah.
and I compartmentalize as much as possible beyond just the idea. Like I see everybody talking about it, and I'm like, if I'm living it, I have no need to talk about it right now. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing my job. We'll keep doing our job.
Yeah.
We'll keep making the show. It's gonna be great. We had to get back into the swing of things today, figuring out how we were gonna do our pre-production, which it kind of worked exactly how I imagined it would work. So we're all good. We're all set up. We got
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff to get into. So if you're ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish. That was like, originally I was going to do the intro and then do this part, but let's just, let me do the intro,
Yeah.
the rest of it, guys. I didn't get to do the housekeeping you normally do at the beginning of the show, right, guys? So hit the like button, please, on this video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. I need to shout it out. I think we're past 383,000 subscribers.
Nice.
So thank you guys so much for that. And remember to share the videos out with everybody that you know. I would also ask, if you listen on the audio platforms, make sure you check out last week, every day but Tuesday, I put out a separate episode. It's not an episode of PCC. It was like an episode of Weekend Update with all sorts of different topics, ranging from all sorts of different things in Hollywood. Also, I put out those episodes with Mikey Harlow and that episode with Colonel Kurt, so you can go over there and listen to that. If you're starved for new PCC content, I did try to make sure that that was there for everybody. So what are we getting into today? We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. Number one, of course, being Sydney Sweeney did the one thing you absolutely never do. One, you should never apologize. Two, you should never vague book apologize, which is exactly what this was. It was the art of saying nothing.
Yeah, it seems like she just broke ranks with her new anti-woke fan base, and she's no longer their poster child.
Well, I mean, that's
Dark.
the problem. You don't want, like, everybody just imprints on people now and turn them into something. It's like the Franklin meme. It's like Franklin didn't ask for this, but he's now a right-wing darling.
What's the Franklin meme?
The what is it? A turtle or a frog? They make
it is the turtle.
Yeah, I've never read it, but that's like now he's a right-wing darling. He didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're gonna talk about Sydney Sweeney. We are also gonna talk about Amy Schumer. There is big news when it comes to Amy Schumer.
Big fat news.
Big fat news, guys. She lost a whole bunch of weight. Now she's leaving her husband.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm being a little bit
predictable.
I'm being a little bit rude because it looks like they were having problems beforehand, but we'll get into all of that. She's doing what they call a conscious uncoupling, whatever the fuck that means. So we're going to talk about it. Also, in more news related to, famous people and marriage, Pokimane is in the news because she has decided that in lieu of finding a suitable mate, she's just going to marry herself.
It's funny because we see headlines like this, every few months in some lifestyle section in New York Post about some freak who married themselves in some other country.
Yep.
And you even see, a report or two about people divorcing themselves after these ceremonies. But now we have a real life example of it in a public figure like Pokimane. It's kind of depressing what's become of her career in life
Yep.
at this point because, her whole thing is being a parasocial girlfriend simulator for a bunch of dudes who watch her streams.
That's so depressing.
So, yeah, I think that might have something to do with how she's ended up in recent years.
If you're ready, then we're off to the races now. That's the best thing about it. We're not even technically live. I am live, but on private right now. But it's like when you go live, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. You just go, right? When I'm recording a video, I'm like, do I worry about the ums? You less when you just go. So if you're ready, we can just go get it. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's dive in.
Let's go for it.
Okay. So as you guys know, I love a good satanic panic. So that's what we're going to cover first today. So Zac Brown Band, fronted by country superstar, you guessed it, Zac Brown, has fallen out of favor with their fan base. And because they're in country music, I think you can imagine their fan base consists more of the normie, conservative-leaning, Christian variety. They do not like what they're seeing from Zac Brown Band. So they just begun days ago a limited engagement at the Las Vegas Sphere. And they introduced some brand new visuals for this new musical era. And it's disturbing quite a few of their fans. Zac Brown Band on X posted about their opening night. What a ride. After dreaming this one up for a long time, it feels surreal to finally live it. We've played a lot of shows, but nothing like this. Grateful for everyone who showed up, and we can't wait to do it all again tomorrow night. And I guess it's only relevant to that first picture there. You can see one of the images that they projected onto the Jumbotron. It's this giant skeleton wearing a wide brim hat, which is similar to the one that Zac Brown wears. And maybe that's meant to represent him. It looks like he's underwater and he's about to, take the bait on a fishing hook. It's hard to tell exactly what that means. And then there were some other stills from the concert that were included in this Daily Mail article. Country music star Zac Brown accused of showing satanic-like ritual to fans during Las Vegas concert. So you can also see this image of a skeleton closer up wearing what some people have called a crown of thorns. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, or you know what it is? I never knew the difference. What was the difference between stalactite and stalagmite?
Actually, it does. Whatever that is, I don't know the difference either, but it does look like that.
That's
it
what
looks like sort
to
of
me.
a crystal crown of some sort that's being worn by this skeleton character. He's also surrounded by flames and smoke and the whole audience. It looks like that scene in K-pop Demon Hunters where they're getting hypnotized by the boy band.
Yeah, there it is.
And then other images that are sort of, I don't know, reminiscent of hell or the pop culture idea of hell.
Yeah,
there's this levitating figure.
How does the pop culture idea of hell differ from the biblical idea of hell?
Well, one thing I was just thinking about recently is the lighting concept, because I know this sounds so ridiculous, but obviously a lot of the pop culture idea of hell has to do with like these flames and it's orange and red and smoking everywhere. But I would say, if I had to guess, I'm not saying I have the theological authority to say, but my guess would be that the real hell does not have this delicious incandescent yellow light bathing the whole atmosphere. I would guess that it looks more like hospital lighting, like blue lighting that makes you, just absolutely depressed.
Yeah, so have you seen the meme that goes around? It says like the movie Drive was one of the last movies to be made when you still had like the yellow lighting on streetlights. And then after that, so hell isn't the yellow street lighting. Hell is the cold white hospital light that just leaves you depressed. Like it's literally, it's not the IRL studio, because the IRL studio is a different type of bright lighting. But like, there's a reason when I go on IRL, I take my glasses off because I literally get a migraine. And I think it's because the light's coming down from above and it goes, so it's like it catches between the glasses. I don't know what it is about the lighting in that studio. I've never had that issue at any other place, because I've been to other places that have like that bright studio light directly on you. It's never comfortable, but I imagine that the lighting in hell is a lot like either the cold hospital lighting or the lighting in IRL.
Yeah, the IRL lighting is notoriously harsh and intense and hard to tolerate, but it looks like the Zac Brown Band is kind of, I don't know, in their Sam Smith rebrand era, if you could call it that. I'm not familiar with their music. I wouldn't call myself a fan. I don't even know if I could name a song, but they mentioned one of his hits is called Chicken Fried.
Yeah.
So that's about as stereotypical as you can get. I also wanted to show this video from an Instagram creator explaining more of the visuals that were shown in the sphere.
Okay, hold on. Let me
and
pull it
some
up here.
people think that he did this, that Zach Brown did this as sort of an initiation ritual into the mainstream, which is funny because country music is already mainstream, but whatever.
All right, here we go.
Let's take a look here.
Turn the volume on.
5, where now country concerts are demonic. This is the Zach Brown Band. I've never heard of them, but they recently just played at the Sphere. Now, I don't know if this is some type of initiation to go mainstream or even to play at the Sphere, but people said they literally felt like they were getting dragged through the gates of hell.
The music is doing all the heavy lifting on
I
this.
know.
This
I know,
concert
it's, like,
starts
so
off
spooky.
with a little boy inside of a red door in his bed. I'm not sure who this is supposed to resemble, maybe the lead singer or something. After this, they take you through a jungle or woods with portals everywhere. And then after that, you see the boy in front of the red door, but now it's on fire. And this literally looks like the door to hell, because after this, it starts to get really dark. You see this really big skeleton, and there's flames around him in this big kingdom, and he's wearing this crown. And then eventually you're gonna see that the lead singer is wearing that same crown, and then things start getting a little crazy. Just notice at the very end, you start to see the fallen angel. I'm not sure if this is supposed to represent Lucifer himself, but there's a lot of symbolism here, and you can watch it back and see what you can pick out. But I've never seen a country concert be this demonic in my entire life.
Okay,
Well,
so that end frame there that he showed, I suppose that was part of the visuals that they have on display at the Sphere. He may not recognize it. He's not familiar with the band. He's probably not familiar much with Christianity either. But that, from what I could tell, was literally an animated figure of Saint Michael the Archangel,
Okay.
casting his blade at Satan.
Okay.
So I don't think that in and of itself is demonic. But you know, I saw a ton of comments from their fans saying, you know, you've lost me as a fan. I'm never streaming you again. You've gone mask off. One of them said, why is there a satanic vibe? Being woke will destroy your career. Enjoy the ride to the end of what you had. Bye bye. Then another one.
Is it that serious?
I honestly don't think it's that serious. I think it's probably them grasping at straws to stay relevant, and this is their idea of what it looks like to be like edgy, like to be cutting edge. I looked more into it and like why they made these aesthetic decisions, and it says in this piece in People, through the skeletal imagery, though the skeletal imagery is only present for a moment in the promotional reel for their show, its use made sense in the context of its accompanying song, Animal, which contains lyrics such as, flesh and blood and bone and rage will tear till nothing's left. Fire is my spirit and the earth, it is my flesh. And they say the choreographed visuals chosen for the Sphere performance are a nod to Love and Fear, that is the album, and what Zach Brown has described in his statement as the duality we all carry. Love and fear push us, challenge us, and shape who we become. These songs reflect the highs, the lows, and everything in between. From darkness to light, from pain to joy, I realized I could create something that connected my journey to others. I stand up here and look into your faces. I see myself in your eyes. We're all sharing in this human experience. Life is hard, but we're going to be okay. This was this monologue that he delivered at the inaugural concert at the Sphere. I believe we are exactly where we're supposed to be, but time stops for none of us. So no more darkness. Bob Marley said, from the darkness there must come out a light. No destinations, no regrets, no more fear. It's F yes or it's no. It's the only remedy, so let's go. Like, what even does any of that mean? I think that this guy just doesn't know, how to stay relevant or like fill the desires of his marketing niche.
No, you know what it is? It's Greta Gerwig trying to explain feminism.
Maybe even worse.
Like it's
than
Greta
that.
Gerwig when she did her 20-minute spiel about the feminism in Barbie, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you just said." Like,
yeah, it's a reach for sure. Like, I'm not one to usually say it's not that deep. I actually do hate when people say that because I feel like everything is that deep or more deep than we realize. And I think the world is incredibly complex and meaningful, and I care about every last part of it. And that does suit me well for a show like this. But
well, I wonder sometimes if part of this is just he's in an industry where it's unbelievably secular. And the people who are creating the art, like that art in those like images was unbelievably detailed and specific. So I don't buy
AI.
Like I don't buy that it wasn't thought about beforehand. Obviously, like one of those things is like nothing ends up anywhere on accident. Like you watch any movie, pay very close attention to what books are on a bookshelf, because if a movie is being made by people that actually care about their craft, they actually think about what books would actually represent this character who owns this home, right? That's a good way of thinking about or anytime we've talked about any celebrity when they like, what is it, like Jamie Lee Curtis with her creepy picture up behind her in her home. All of that stuff really does matter. But I also think that for a secular graphic designer and whoever they had that was doing the art for this, do I believe that they're at Bohemian Grove and they're chanting? No, I don't think that. I think that it falls somewhere in the lines of edgy atheism and just a secular world that then people who are religious certain images might trigger them a bit more than others. And obviously those ones were very specific. They mentioned in the article, they're like, that was like 15 seconds of the video you guys are reaching.
Yeah, I don't know what it was we said recently on the show, but it was something to the effect of the demand for X exceeds the supply of Y. Like the demand for conspiracy
in demonic content
exceeds the supply of conspiracy evidence at this point. That goes for a lot of things, for wokeness maybe too.
Yeah.
But we have these gimmick accounts essentially. One of them is called Isaac's Army, which is named after Isaac Cappy. And you can look into his story. We actually did a video about the Tom Hanks conspiracy, which you can find later. But that specific X account tweeted out the video of this performance saying, popular American country rock band Zac Brown Band performed at the Las Vegas Sphere. As you can see here, he is performing a satanic ritual over his unsuspecting fans during the show. But not just that, this is a classic case of loosh harvesting.
What is that?
So, loosh is something that we talked about when we discussed the conspiracy theories surrounding JonBenet Ramsey.
Yes,
remember that?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so it's some sort of energy that, I don't know, the elites want to harvest from us common folk. Fear, anxiety, distress. It's sort of like the adrenochrome theory, but you can do it by... for instance, in the JonBenet Ramsey case, giving everyone this really harrowing story, this like tragedy about a little girl dying in a gruesome way, and it spreads across the country. It's in every tabloid, on every grocery store shelf, etc. And creating that energy of distress in a nation, in a society that can be harvested for nefarious purposes. That's my best understanding of it. I'm sure that, Isaac's Army could explain it better, but they do try to vague book all of these posts. I don't see how it's a demonic ritual, personally.
No, and the other thing
is... It just seems fake edgy.
The artist seems to have his own explanation. Like, am I supposed to believe that Zach Brown, I almost called him Zach Bryant, that Zach Brown, I guess he met with, like, the Council of Elders for all that is evil, and they've all got their cloaks on? I'm not trying to be dismissive here, but it's just kind of ridiculous to me. Or is the idea that he believes everything that he just said? I don't even remember what his quote was now, but he was talking about, can you pull up his quote again? What was it that he said at the beginning of it?
I closed it. No, it was something about expressing the duality in all of us between love and fear.
Okay, so yeah, right there. Like, and I picture him at some type of production meeting where they're talking about what it's going to look like there. And he's explaining this. If we're to give him the credit, he's explaining this to the creative director there who's in charge of the visuals. And the guy's like, yeah. And then you can have like skulls and a crown of thorns. And then he's like, yeah. Like, I just find that more plausible than this guy unwittingly. I guess the whole purpose of the demonic ritual amongst fans would be to do it unwittingly, right? That's what they would say, is that you gain power from doing it against those that are unknown to what's going on. So do I think that that's what's going on here? No, I think that some secularists and some atheists got together, heard the duality of man, were like, skulls, bro. Like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, like the skull with the fire is literally like a child's idea of what's like evil, right? Or more even like an old-timey idea of evil, like the representation of evil, like, oh, like skulls and fire.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very simple. It's not even clever for what they were going for, in my opinion.
If anything, the most impressive thing about it is the technical mastery of like making that building look that way. And the visuals are actually quite awe-inspiring. I imagine if you got to see shows there live. I did like the one comment that said, I don't know one song they got that needs this.
No, yeah, that's the most like hilarious part of the whole thing. As I was reading about it the other day, I was like, the Zach Brown band is performing a demonic ritual. Like, what kind of clown world headline is this?
It's like the famous video of Dave Matthews jumping around on stage like an idiot and says there isn't a single song in the Dave Matthews catalog that requires this.
No, not at all. What was that one? Country Fried, or was it Chicken Fried?
Chicken Fried, right?
Does Chicken
Wait,
Fried
was he the one who was
require...
married to who was the one married to Brianna Chicken Fry?
Oh, that was
Zach
well, they weren't married, but that was Zach Bryan, and I was just joking with you earlier.
Yeah. It's all the same.
That, like, I can't keep track of these country singers. One of them is Zach Bryan, and another one is Zach Brown.
They all look alike.
Like, I'm not gonna pay attention to these people.
All right. Let's move on. What would you like to see? Cringe or cue to the day?
I think it would only be appropriate to see cringe first today.
Okay, we will do the cringe first here. Give me one second.
This is related to the ongoing row between Ben and Jerry's and their parent company, and they decided to explain what's going on to their fans with a skit video.
All right.
Now, another exciting episode in the struggle to free Ben and Jerry's. This is a Magnum ice cream bar. It's the flagship brand of the Magnum Ice Cream Company.
Whenever we did the research into like Ben and Jerry's and we're looking like at Unilever and all the parent companies, I was like, is that the condom company? I literally thought it was the condom company. I did not know it was ice cream.
But the marketing for the Magnum ice cream is heavily sexualized. I will say that.
Okay.
This is a pint of Ben & Jerry's. It's owned by the Magnum Ice Cream Company. And that is Mr. Orange. Here's what's going on.
Hey, we support overcoming structural racism, Mr. Orange.
Oh, no, you don't. You can't say that.
Huh? How come? I've always said it before.
Mr. Orange says no.
I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyway. We support...
Don't you do nothing to make Mr. Orange mad. Or else.
Or else what?
Or else I'm gonna fire your skinny little ass.
Sheesh. Okay, let me try saying something else. Hey, we support students who are protesting genocide, Mr. Orange.
Oh, no, you don't.
But I thought America was about freedom of speech and the right to protest.
Not anymore. Shut your yap.
But...
No.
So now that you're seeing, in no uncertain terms, what's really going on and why freeing Ben & Jerry's is the only way to unmuzzle it, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to come up with a flavor name and ingredients that tell the story. It's a contest. Winner gets a lifetime supply of free Ben & Jerry's. But there's a catch. You only get the free Ben & Jerry's if Ben & Jerry's is free.
I don't like it when you bot me. How come you bot me?
And now, another exciting episode.
Yeah.
It's not very equitable. Making it results-based is like antithetical to their worldview. He is the most Portland-looking middle-aged leftist. He's literally the prototype.
Yeah.
He's exactly what you think of the first time you met like a lunatic. Like if you grew up in the suburbs and you had parents that were either apolitical, maybe conservative, maybe they voted Democrat, and then you got your first chance going to the Northeast and you met just the most insane old person who's been like since the days of Woodstock leftist. He's exactly what you imagine.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible, actually, how well he fits the stereotype.
He does. But he should be played by Larry David if they were to make a movie about him in old age.
Yeah,
that was awful. That was awful. Also, I was going to try and intellectualize an answer to his point, but I don't have time for that. The hell with this guy. Okay, let's do cute of the day. We have missed so many, and I'm getting caught back up. By the way, guys, if you are watching this, you should submit. I need more. So submit your pets for cute of the day on X, hashtag PCC pets. You can tag me in there at Brett Dasovic on there. This one is from Corey Anderson from Thanksgiving. So I've still got it.
Oh, wow.
Corey Anderson says, or I'm sorry, Corey, first ambassador to the moon. I don't know if it's Corey Anderson, but it could be.
I don't know.
Says Rizzo and Barley ready to help with the dishes after Thanksgiving.
Hello, Rizzo and Barley.
They look like they're happy to help. Okay.
I hope they got some leftovers.
Guys, make sure you submit your pets. I want them there so that we can put them in the show. Let's move on. Let's get started.
Yeah, so it was just a couple of weeks ago that Sydney Sweeney made a great show of resilience in her interview with Catherine Stoffel over at GQ magazine, where she was asked once and for all to finally respond to the backlash over her American Eagle ad campaign. And in that GQ interview, she appeared to stand her ground. She did not want to back down and take the blame for the way that it was massively misconstrued, mainly by people on the left, as some sort of eugenics propaganda. She basically stayed silent and left it at, when there's an issue I want to speak about, people will hear. I presume that issue that she wanted to speak about was domestic violence, hence the fact that that interview was a promotional one for Christie, which flopped at the box office. But now, after the flop, the historical level flop of Christie, I think Sydney Sweeney maybe panicked a little bit and called up some friends in the PR industry and got her first conventional publicist to encourage her to finally walk back her earlier stance and denounce the views that were associated with her American Eagle campaign.
And let's be honest, it's not just like it's not one, like you might be presuming that she means the white supremacist views, but it's kind of ambiguous in the wording what she's actually denouncing, which is the worst. Actually, it's like when you try to say everything at once, you end up saying nothing at all. And the timing on this is so unbelievably weird. Like this controversy, for however big it was, has generally left the cultural discussion. And she's
it
like,
was back in July.
She's like, hey guys, remember my and the thing is, there was an article just recently, I ended up not covering it, where they sold a crap ton of jeans. Like this campaign made them a ton of money and made her a ton of money. So there was no reason to bring this back up.
No, I mean, it has been following her for half a year now, basically. So I'm sure that she got exhausted at a certain point and just hoped that she could issue this statement and people would finally get off her back. But that is not, of course, how it's being received. This was in an exclusive interview with People magazine the other day. So here is her full response, and not an apology, but a lot of people are calling it that. I was honestly surprised by the reaction. I did it because I love the jeans and love the brand. I don't support the views some people chose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press. But recently, I've come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. So I hope this new year brings more focus on what connects us instead of what divides us. Now, that doesn't sound like it came out of Sydney Sweeney's mouth. I think that was something it was extremely scripted. It sounded like it came straight out of a PR firm, and she just had to deliver it word for word to People magazine and hopefully gain back the favor of the people who used to be her fans, the ones who liked her before and during Euphoria season 1 and 2. But unfortunately, most of the responses from those people were saying, like, it's too late now. You could have issued this statement back in July, but you didn't. You showed your true colors, your true white supremacist colors. We're never going to bring you back into the fold.
Can we also just reiterate that nothing in that ad said that at all? It was literally about her being hot. That's all it was.
I mean, I thought that the jeans double entendre was literally about her tits. That's what I thought it was about.
I took it generically as just she's genetically gifted, meaning she's attractive. I guess the connection they made there is she says, my eyes are blue.
No, she says my jeans are blue.
I thought she said okay. The point is, she doesn't say anything about racism. She doesn't even hint at that. It's literally just her being attractive. Right?
I legitimately thought that the reference to genetics was solely related to the size of her breasts. That's literally what I thought.
It's a Rorschach test. Whatever you're thinking about is what you're going to drop into place there. And that says more, as a lot of these things in the space oftentimes do. What's the saying? The saying is like, any accusation is a confession. I don't believe that that's always true. I think that that's a simplistic worldview. But in this case, if people saw white supremacy there, they're going to overthink it and look at it that way. The other thing that I've realized, platforms like X, and this does connect, it's literally just a place where people imprint on you. So there was these interviews going around. I wish I had it pulled up of her and Amanda Seyfried. And they were like screenshotting looks that Amanda Seyfried was giving her. And saying like, look, she hates her. She hates her fucking guts. Like, she can't stand this girl because she's a white supremacist. I'm like, that's not there. Like, literally, there's nothing there that you're saying. You're absolutely bonkers. You're losing your mind. You're addicted to, I guess, intersectional politics. And Sydney Sweeney, unfortunately, though she doesn't necessarily, I guess, denounce white supremacy. She wins no favor with this. It's too vague of a statement.
Yeah,
the moment she mentioned hate and divisiveness, she lost. Even if she doesn't actually denounce anything else or whatever. Like, she lost. And the thing is, the right does it too. They imprinted on her. All she did was not address concerns, and they made her some type of like right-wing mascot for the movement that she didn't ask for.
Yeah, and I think that the real problem here is people on both sides of the political aisle attaching themselves to her parasocially.
Yeah.
And seeing her as a champion of their cause one way or the other.
And you just end up sad because they never live up to your expectations.
Yeah, and now that's why this is being used as a barometer for where we're at with wokeness. Pedro Gonzalez responded to the headline saying, "It's hard to tell on this app, but the pendulum in real life has already started to swing in the other direction." And what he means by that is that maybe people on X think that wokeness is dead and that we are past peak woke at this point and we're moving forward into a more right-wing culture. However, he's trying to say this is an echo chamber on X. Yes. Outside of that world, it seems that wokeness is making some kind of comeback, or it's gaining new ground, and that it was only a brief moment where it had to recede culturally. And maybe Sydney Sweeney's response 6 months after the ad campaign is a sign of that. Overall, I just think that this was a losing issue for her, no matter where she fell on it, no matter what she said, because all of the parasocial people that attached themselves to her because they saw her as an avatar for right-wing culture, they're turned against her now. They feel betrayed by this statement. And then all of the people that she's trying to win back favor from on the left also feel that she didn't speak out soon enough and that she only did so when it posed a threat to her paycheck. So it makes her look bad to literally everyone, which again is sort of a scenario where a celebrity hires a publicist. She probably sought crisis PR advice, and then it ended up sabotaging her in every conceivable way.
Yeah, like when I think about it, I don't even know how much. I guess you could say the right wing support might have committed some money to like the brand for American Eagle because it sold a lot of jeans, but that controversy was bigger than just right wing support. And beyond that, like they were never going to see Christy. I imagine most of them are not going to see The Housemaid. She's not making movies for them anyways. She would have been, but the thing is, staying silent isn't enough anyways. Her views, the art she wants to make is at odds with the approach she takes to marketing. Like my new thing is to be like, actors don't want to be actors. They want to be pop stars, because in pop star circles, they're allowed and encouraged to speak out in favor of left-wing ideology. It benefits pop stars to be. I did the video on the girl from Cat's Eye who was like, oh, I like Noah Schnapp in this Stranger Things season 5. And they're like, you piece of shit. Like, oh, so you're a Zionist now, huh? Zionist shill. And then, you know, they're like, oh, why are you following Eyes on Palestine on Instagram? Is this some type of performative BS? Like, they benefit from having far left ideology to the point where it got her in. It was one of the aspects that makes her popular in this band or group that she's in. So the actors, what they want is they want to be pop stars where they can hold those beliefs and benefit from it because that's the target audience. Unfortunately, that's not how demographics work with movies.
Yeah, I think that she made a major miscalculation, and it's ironic because I was just praising her for her performance in the GQ interview that mirrored Jennifer Lawrence's interview with New York Times, where, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence had a more long-winded explanation, but they were both basically saying the same thing, which is it's unproductive and, you know, outside of my self-interest to comment on politics, so I'm not going to. Jennifer Lawrence just made it way more explicit that Sydney Sweeney did, but they were both in the same camp there, and then Sydney Sweeney defected. I think that she just got scared.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's move on. We've got more of this stuff to get into. Let's talk about Amy Schumer.
Yeah, so it appears that although Amy Schumer is no longer on Ozempic, she is currently on Mounjaro instead. She has debuted her new physique. She has deleted all of her old fat photos on Instagram. So we're all going to collectively memory hold the fact that she used to be overweight. And with that, she has taken on a new identity. She wants to rebrand herself. And, you know, sometimes you get to a point in life where your husband doesn't exactly fit well into your personal brand. So you have to leave him. You have to get a divorce. And that is apparently what's occurring in Amy Schumer's life right now. She is going about the project of conscious uncoupling with her husband, according to inside sources. What's confusing about this is there were contradictory headlines in the news about their marriage. One of them said, Amy Schumer and husband Chris Fisher are privately working through normal issues in their marriage, but that the two are both committed to their relationship. That was in People. But then right after that, new headline claimed Amy Schumer and Chris Fisher have zero chance of saving their marriage. There's no way they're salvaging it now. This source alleged they have been having issues for ages, and my understanding is all they're doing now is working out a conscious uncoupling plan, referencing a divorce term popularized, of course, by Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin in their 2014 split statement. And of course, you cannot separate this news from Amy Schumer's new BMI, because I think people have seen this pattern take place before. You know, she's suddenly skinny. She is getting a little bit too big or too skinny maybe for her britches, and she feels like she deserves better. and she has just raised her value in the sexual marketplace. Now feels that she is finally free to go sow her wild oats and leave her husband in the dust. I don't know if I see it that way. I mean, that's a very cynical way of seeing it, but it is telling. They've had issues reportedly for years at this point, and only once she's skinny does she feel like they are non-negotiable and irreconcilable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
She has more. I mean, let's face it, she had options anyways. She's Amy Schumer. Like, I don't believe that she
What's
didn't
her
have
bargaining
options.
power?
Yeah, like she's got options, but now she's got better options. Therefore, it's easier to walk away from what's going on, which is a depressing thing to think about, especially since, you know, if we're to give this guy the steel man of the argument that he loved her anyways, he didn't care what she looked like, he loved her beforehand, but the problems have been going on for years, and they only got married in like what 2018 or something like that. So it's like they're coming up on the what is it, like they call it like a 7-year itch, right? So they're like just past that 7-year mark, and they're like things were already falling apart in year 5, and now she's got all this extra confidence. I wouldn't be surprised if it at least played a little bit of a role in emboldening her to do so, but it's also kind of pointless to speculate because we can't really know what's in their heart. We just know what it looks like in these types of situations.
Wow, I had no idea that term existed. I just looked it up. The 7-year itch is a popular belief suggesting happiness in a marriage or long-term romantic relationship declines around the 7-year mark, leading to restlessness, dissatisfaction, and infidelity. Originated from the 1952 play The 7-Year Itch by George Axelrod and gained popularity through the 1955 film adaptation starring Marilyn Monroe, in which a married man becomes infatuated with his new neighbor while his family is away. Okay. I'd never heard that term before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't. So that's the end of what they call the honeymoon phase then?
I mean, I don't even know if that's necessarily the honeymoon phase, because the honeymoon phase is much, much earlier. Maybe it's like the honeymoon phase is when it's all butterflies and rainbows, but from the middle point on, you are cooperative, you love one another, and you're in the reality of the relationship at this point, but no issues have set in. I think a lot of that would have to do with a lack of communication and a lack of follow through on what you're saying you want to do as a couple, right? You have to be open and honest about how you feel about things. And if things are starting to be problematic or you're starting to have issues, you have to be, first of all, you have to be honest about what you're feeling, and then you have to be realistic about what those feelings are, right? So if he's feeling restless, maybe because she doesn't look the way he thinks he wants her to look, that's something that you have to bring up. But how do you do that in any way that doesn't come across as rude, right? But couples benefit from being honest with one another.
It is correct that they got married in 2018 and celebrated 7 years of marriage in February of this year.
Okay.
But they had a son in 2019, which makes it a more sad situation if they do split up. As of December, though, Amy Schumer publicly reaffirmed their marriage, posting a photo from their wedding day and writing, 7 years ago, we signed a prenup and haven't had to utilize it. Love you, babe.
Is that like the Kristen Bell? It's like her version of the Kristen Bell post about domestic violence.
It's a joke that only lands between you two because you're comics and entertainers, but other people find it kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel that way about prenups. It's very controversial where people land on that issue, but I do think that it kind of does make people feel like they can have one foot out the door. Would you say so?
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is because that inordinately affects men, they're going to have a lot harder time like agreeing on that. Like, oh, so I should just take all the risk in the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, but there's risk for everyone.
Absolutely.
You know, but it is, of course, more common for celebrity marriages to have prenups and also to just not last very long in general.
He's a professional chef. He's probably miserable to be around.
Chris Fisher?
That's what it says. Fisher's a professional chef who was first linked to Schumer. Yeah. So, you know, maybe.
Really? Because I recognized his face and I felt like I had seen him in TV shows or something.
Maybe he's a celebrity chef. I don't know. But you know what it is? He's like, you know what? You never cooked for me. I do all the cooking. You never cooked for me. Or,
Well, ever since she got on,
she got skinny and now she won't eat his food and he's super
Exactly.
bitter. He's like,
Yeah,
I made
how do
you this amazing
as a
dish.
professional chef, how do you cook for your wife who is hopped up on Ozempic and Mounjaro all the time? That must be
No, you know what
a
it is?
strain on their relationship because she no longer appreciates his art form.
It's actually the opposite.
so-
Remember, when you go to those high-end restaurants, they bring you the plate and it's like this much food. So he brings her like some pickle slices, like all elegantly placed on the plate, and she eats one pickle slice. He's like, "What? My pickle slices aren't good enough for you?" Or whatever Ariana Grande was eating on the set of Wicked. It was like
Right.
cucumber slices.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find it incredibly hard to believe that Amy Schumer, after transforming her physique, has a huge ego to match.
Yeah.
And maybe feels like it's time for her to feel hot again and get out on the town. But aside from this, I did want to also shift to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because they have yet to get married. They've been together for a total of 2.5 years now. And they are planning their wedding. There are very few details available about that. But Travis Kelce recently revealed that him and Taylor Swift have never argued in their entire 2.5-year relationship. And that prompted a huge debate about what an argument is, what a fight is, whether you should do either or both with whoever you marry, or before marriage or after marriage. Is it inevitable? Are people just coping with how unhappy their relationships are by saying that arguing is normal?
Yep.
One take that was I appreciated from Matt Walsh. He claimed there's a difference between a fight and an argument. In a fight, you're trying to emotionally hurt the other person. You fight to cause pain. Fights are never healthy in a marriage, and should be extremely rare if they happen at all. An argument is a disagreement where you're trying to convince the other person of your point of view. In a marriage, I know these two aren't married yet, if there aren't any arguments, it means that one of them, usually the man, simply never asserts their perspective and lets themselves get trampled. A marriage without arguments isn't healthy.
Yeah, 110%. Or at the very least, you need to have very, very reasoned discussions about your point of view, and you cannot let your point of view be lost in the mix trying to keep the peace.
I'm with that take. I think fight obviously carries a different connotation.
Wait, are you're saying that men are the ones most likely to not have to hide their perspective?
No, I think Matt is right to insinuate that usually men have a problem asserting themselves in what we would call the standard American marriage. I think that women oftentimes have a problem where they never express themselves at all. They never express what they want at all, and then end up building up more and more and more resentment quietly within themselves, having never expressed their desires or what upsets them. And then they just expect the man to know somehow by ESP what is bothering them. Like, I think that's the problem that women have, where they don't, that you could say that they're not asserting themselves when they, quietly resent their husbands. But husbands, on the other hand, at least appears to be the case that a lot of the time they'll express their view, but then they feel like, oh, it's just easier to go along with what she wants, so I'm just going to go along with what she wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I saw people in the thread talking about, because I think Xavier DeRusso said it was a red flag that they hadn't had an argument. I think it was him. I could be misremembering who it was that said that.
Let me see.
And I think that the idea was then people were discussing like what an argument even is, or what fighting even is as a couple. Like, are we talking about big name decisions? Because I imagine for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, big decisions are different than big decisions for a regular couple.
Yeah. For a regular couple, a big decision is like, should we buy a Toyota Camry or a Honda Civic?
Yeah.
And like, for them, it's how do we compare that? Like,
I love the meme of like where
whose
they
private jet to take.
I love the
to
meme where they
Pokimane
show the meme of Hillary Clinton walking into the apartment where she's just like, she looks disgusted by poor. And she's like, the meme says Taylor Swift going into Travis Kelce's $1 million mansion. Like,
He's humble.
He's humble.
Lives
So
a simple life.
now I could imagine them, because I think, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but from all the memes I'm seeing, because I don't follow football super closely, the Chiefs aren't playing well this year, and I bet you there's some fights going around where now he's starting to be like, is this costing me my spot? Like, is all the hoopla around our relationship costing me my spot?
I've seen similar drama around the wags of F1 drivers.
Okay.
Have you noticed that too?
I don't know any. It's crazy to me how big F1 has gotten in America.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's been big for a long time, but just this year with the release of the movie F1 and all sorts of like I just see conservative influencers going to like Qatar or Abu Dhabi and like going to F1 tracks. Producer Patrick on the track at like an F1 track. I saw Xavier on an F1 track. It's like, this feels very like planned.
Maybe.
Am I wrong about? I might be wrong about Xavier. I don't think Xavier was in Abu Dhabi. I don't know where he was, but like I just I saw a bunch of
spreading a bunch of fake
yeah.
news about Xavier now. But like you know what? I agree with Xavier's take that it's a red flag if they haven't
Absolutely.
argued in 2.5 years, especially considering the stakes of both of their individual lives and what it means to join them together. And I think that what it really reveals is that there is people are going to not like me saying this, there is a noticeable IQ gap between these two.
Or he's
Travis, he's either an expert at pretending to be stupid, or he is legitimately just not as smart as her by at least one standard deviation of IQ points. And I am leaning toward the latter explanation, that she is just smarter than him, at the very least has a better verbal IQ than him and can out-argue him in any argument anyway. So he's like, ugh, why even try? Plus, she has a bigger net worth. It depends on who you ask, but I think she's probably more famous. So she carries more weight. She can throw her weight around in the relationship. I think she wears the pants.
I don't think anybody...
and that's why I said he is a sanitized liberal man in a disguise. The disguise being muscles and a beard. He's not actually the macho guy that he presents himself to be. He is kind of a wimp in reality. That's what it appears to be, like, from our perspective.
He's the whole thing is like, but also to me, most of this stuff, I don't know if I buy it. Like, I believe that celebrities just lie. I believe they just lie for sound bites. Like,
so they fight all the time, and Travis is lying.
I mean, maybe not all the time, or he's just like, it's just like, we can't pretend like for people in those spaces, perception doesn't matter. Perception is unbelievably important for them. So do I believe that they would lie and say something like that for brownie points? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what if it's like that one Democrat politician who like poured scalding hot mashed potatoes on her husband's head?
What?
And that's really how Taylor Swift is behind the scenes. That's their private
or
life.
She's like, what's her name from Minnesota? With I never remember. Did she eat a salad with a comb, or did she comb her hair with a fork?
Yeah, Amy
Klobuchar.
She ate salad with a comb. And she did not brush her hair with a fork.
Okay.
She did throw things at staffers.
See, I believe that maybe Taylor Swift is kind of nuts behind the scenes, and like he comes home from work and she's like, she got some bad news from her publicist, maybe like one of her 12 songs. She's got 12 songs in the top 10 somehow, and one of them left, and she's like going like this and like combing her hair with a fork and freaking out. Maybe she's a little nuts.
I just don't believe that. Okay, I'm not going to say never, but the vast majority of women cannot respect a man who is significantly, noticeably less intelligent than them. Like, people need to be with a relative IQ match, in my opinion, in order to relate to one another, in order to respect somebody. And I don't think that if Travis is as dumb as he seems and it's not a character, I highly doubt that Taylor Swift has any real respect for him. He honestly just looks like a purse puppy of a boyfriend.
Well, he's not a boyfriend. He's a fiance, which means they've got some decisions to make real quick.
Yeah, he seems like an accessory to her life.
All right, let's move on.
Common.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of relationships, Pokimane recently discussed why it is that she is still single at the ripe age of 29. She, if you didn't know, is an extremely popular Twitch streamer, and she has been favored on the platform for quite some time, mainly because of the marketing niche that she fills. And it depends on who you ask. Some people would feel this is an uncharitable interpretation of her audience, but what most people picture is a bunch of lonely guys who watch her Twitch streams, and she is sort of the originator of the just chatting genre of streamers, where she's kind of like a parasocial girlfriend simulator for her audience. And I mean, predictably, most men that she might be interested in dating would find that a little disturbing, and that shrinks her dating pool significantly. Yet she still claims to be a hopeless romantic. And of course, you guys know, if you're regulars here, I despise when people call themselves hopeless romantics. I think that is an immediate red flag if someone calls themselves that. It literally just means that you probably have a personality disorder of some sort, like cluster B. If someone calls themselves hopeless romantic, none of it is really ever about the other person. It's all about what you feel this other person says about you or how they define you, and ways that a relationship boosts your ego and your status. So Pokimane recently published this Get Ready With Me video where she explains to her audience and her parents why she isn't married yet. Some of the reasons may shock you. One of them is that she doesn't want to be with an insecure guy who doesn't like her career as a streamer, her super big, serious girl boss career.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like that, that means he's insecure.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that.
Yep. All right, here we go. Let's make sure. Hopefully, we won't have any problems with this one here. So let's go ahead and play it. Let me screen share. Got it there. All right. Pull that up. Here we go.
Why I'm not married yet. My parents keep asking, so I'm just gonna send them this video. 1. Dating while being a public figure has its difficulties. If I go on a dating app, I'm either bombarded with people asking if
Her voice is so grating. I'm sorry.
I can't stand the fake
it's
baby voice.
It's so fake. Okay, let's continue.
it's really me, or I get banned because they think I'm catfishing myself. Meeting up with a stranger is risky enough, but even more so after instances where a guy will pretend they don't know who I am, and then I find out they knew all along. I also think that, as a career-oriented woman, I don't want to settle for someone who's insecure about what I do or wants to control me. I'd never want to be that way towards my partner. 2. I went through a rather traumatizing experience that made it hard for me to feel safe and trust others. Once you see the emotional, psychological, and even physical impact that someone can have on you, it makes you cautious about entering into anything new.
I wonder if she wrote this herself. Or if
Or
somebody
is
else.
it ChatGPT?
Yeah, here we go. Let's continue.
I guess you could say I'm on a romantic cooldown of sorts. And lastly, I simply didn't feel as ever the right time or opportunity to get married in my early to mid-20s. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Between a pandemic, the economy being in the toilet, and there just being bigger things to worry about, it's kind of nice to see that people aren't rushing into marriage like they used to. I also try to think of it this way. What if it's the last time I'll ever be single? I might as well enjoy it, right? But
It's so narcissistic.
I am a hopeless romantic at the end of the day, and I truly believe everyone has their perfect match somewhere out there. I hope you already have or will find.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, that part in the middle was the most self-indulgent BS I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I know I'm not as famous as Pokimane, but I am a streamer. And I don't think that someone disqualifying me as a dating prospect because of my job makes them insecure. Like, I think that's I mean, it's a weird thing to do for a living, relatively. It's very uncommon, and it comes with a lot of extra
Baggage.
concerns that most
Mhm.
people don't have to concern themselves with. Like,
Yep.
why does that make him insecure if he doesn't like your job? It's sort of, it's similar but not quite the same as what OnlyFans models say
It's-
about their dating prospects.
It's not quite the same, but it is one of those things where it's like he's going to have to worry about you having a parasocial relationship with a ton of people all the time. And
Yeah.
there are concerns. It's not just the concerns as far as the emotional connection you have. There's security concerns for stuff like that.
Mhm.
And her reaction just, it's the exact same thing that we've been hearing from, I guess, from the liberal bend to dating for a very, very long time. Everything about her hopeless romanticism is about her and has nothing to do with Bill. Like, again, she said, what if it's the last time I'm single? Well, what if it's the last time that you're not? Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that the end goal? Isn't that the purpose of all this? She mentions the economy. Okay, if you want to talk about having kids in the economy, that makes sense to me. But in what way does the economy affect her dating life? Unless she's the one doing the wooing?
She has a net worth of, I think some people have said $20 million. She has absolutely nothing to worry about in that regard. She could retire right now, actually. And I have, in regard to her comments about starting a family, I believe we covered this on the channel. She said that she was considering having children without getting married or even, you know, whatever, without a father, like a sperm donor or something and a surrogate. And that she was just going to, you know, be a single mother by choice. This is like some sort of growing trend now, which is inhumane and cruel to do to a child who has no other choice. I think that was just insane that people praised her for saying that. So she's saying, like, what if it's the last time I'm single? Okay, maybe you could be thinking, like, in the far, far future, you could end up widowed, right?
Yeah.
After a long, happy marriage. But realistically, what is she keeping the door open for? Divorce.
Yeah.
That's how people view marriage now. And you know what? In a way, I kind of agree with what she said. I'm glad that due to like some circumstances of modern life, people are not rushing into marriage the way that they used to. In fact, the way they used to, they didn't feel like they were rushing at all.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that people are more cautious about who they choose to marry than they used to be, hence why the divorce rates are plummeting all of a sudden. And I genuinely think, maybe this is unpopular to say in like conservative circles, if you don't want to get married, you like shouldn't. Like, okay, if there are bogus reasons that you have for not wanting to get married, then yeah, like, reevaluate them or evaluate them for the first time in your life if you never have.
Give me an idea of what, like, what are bogus reasons? What are good reasons?
I mean, a bogus reason could be something as superficial as, like, you know, I don't know, I just don't want to have to talk to someone in my house. I want to like hang out and watch Netflix all day or something. Like, I'm antisocial. Like, it could be something really superficial like that. If you have bogus reasons for not wanting to get married, then yeah, you should be a little more introspective and reevaluate your priorities.
Yeah.
But if after a searching moral inventory, you truly feel like you don't want to get married and make the sacrifices that are necessary, don't. Like, I genuinely think you should not do it. I think there is a worrying trend in the discourse on the ostensible right, which is encouraging people to be very fast and loose about these decisions.
Okay.
Specifically marriage and family. Like, as the saying goes, get married too young, have more kids than you can afford, etc. It's usually not people who actually put that into practice that are giving that advice out, so it sounds a little bit hypocritical. I completely disagree with that. I think that you should take those decisions extremely seriously, not to the point of, you know, analysis paralysis, but, you know, that's the one area that I say I could agree with Pokimane. I'm glad that people are not just making these decisions willy-nilly in 2025.
But the thing is you're looking at it from a well-rounded perspective, and she's looking at it from an insular, self-obsessed perspective, and there's very little in the way of oddly enough, I don't think she's being introspective about what she's doing. I think that she's made the decision up a while ago as to what she was doing with her life, and the rest of it is rationalizations.
Yeah, and even more delusional and pathetic than that, Pokimane announced a couple of weeks ago that she, in the meantime, is going to be married to herself. Yeah. She even bought herself an engagement ring and showed all of her followers on TikTok. Here is that announcement.
Here we go.
Talking about a ring. A lot of you were saying, girl, just go get one for yourself. So that's what I did. A ring at Bulgari that I just fell in love with. It felt like way too much to get for myself, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, I hope someday I actually get engaged. The person that you are engaged to the most in your entire lifetime is your damn self. So why shouldn't I get this ring for my damn self? So this is me proposing to myself. Damn! Look at the gorgeous diamonds. And the packaging is beautiful, the way that it contrasts. You know when jewelry is so pretty, I want to eat it? Is that just me? Like, it's so delectable. Will I be with me for the rest of my life? Well, yes, I've no choice, but yes. I'm gonna have the opportunity to gift my husband the sickest engagement ring for men that there ever was, and I cannot wait. You guys know how much I love gift giving, and just that idea makes me so happy.
That was the most, like, parasocially manipulative video I've watched in a very long time.
How does she not realize how phony that sounded?
First of all, you don't give an engagement ring to men. And second of all you're doing is speaking directly to your audience. Like, you're literally just looking at a bunch of men in the comments and saying, this could be you, but not really.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, like, who is actually in her fan base. Like, is it really the stereotypical simp army of single, lonely men that we imagine? Or are there women who find this content relatable in any way? Literally, who can relate to the idea of buying yourself a luxury diamond ring while single?
No normal person.
Who finds that relatable? Like, there are so many washed up influencers now. Jaclyn Hill is the most recent example I can think of, who don't understand why their numbers are plummeting. Like, they cannot get the views and the engagement that they used to in the 2010s. But it's because they're not the person that people related to begin with. They became the person who was invited to private islands, was surrounded by Hermes and Cartier and brand deals left and right, and they have a villa, and they, you know, they're showing you their shopping hauls at all of these luxury stores, and it's just constant stream of consumerism, and it is a form of slop, and nobody finds that relatable or entertaining or enjoyable to watch. I feel like that video from Pokimane was another example of that. But really sad state of affairs that she feels it was necessary to buy herself an engagement ring. Like, that is another level of cope right there.
It feels like the type of, like, it's rich cope, but it's just cope.
Yeah, like, oh, like, I'm not sad because you know, I might be single, but at least I'm rich and I can treat myself. I can go on dates with myself. Like, that's not the flex you think it is. I saw another, so this content, it's like kind of radicalizing me. It's like making me into a red pillar. This other tweet that I wanted to pull up and show you is from someone who goes by Internet Daughter. I have no idea who this person is, but she has a blue sky. So do with that information what you will. She captioned this selfie dump. Now that I'm unlocked, I can use Twitter as a dating app. Here were her notes that she gave everyone about herself for her potential male suitors. So, she's 35, wants marriage, wants kids, wants a mildly trad setup. She has a law degree and will be a lawyer next June. She says, I'm funny and not boring and have traveled plenty. Some people call me smart. Run, snowboard, mountain bike, blah, blah. Actually, an adult emotionally and looking for the same. Open to moving because I'm not attached to Vancouver. I guess this is where she is now. Even if it means writing an American bar. I guess she means she would have to, you know, take another exam to be a lawyer in the US. And lastly, she is not into wasting time. So fellas,
hurry up.
Hurry up.
Hurry up.
And slide in those DMs.
She doesn't got much time left. She doesn't have much time left.
Why wouldn't you want to? She's a catch in literally every way.
Of course, she's
what
traveled.
could possibly go wrong?
She travels.
And Yeah, I mean, like she loves traveling. She's trad, even though she is a 35-year-old lawyer.
No, she's mildly trad. She's like
Oh,
if
okay,
she was
mildly
if
trad.
trad was a Taco Bell hot sauce, she is not fire. She's mild. She's mildly trad.
Now, at first, when I came across this post, I was mistaken for a second, and I thought that she was listing out the qualities that she wants to find in a man.
She
and when I saw the part that says has a law degree and will be a lawyer next June,
like,
I was like,
damn, that's specific.
we're not gonna find that. But that's actually describing herself.
Yeah.
So never mind. I mean, I wonder what it is that she is looking for in dating prospects.
The thing is, it's actually pointless to speculate, and I'll tell you why. I don't think they know either. If they know, it's so unbelievably outside of the realm of possibility given the age and setup, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. I don't know if that's outside the realm of possibility because a lot of that's the joke, right? Like the right-wing cope is that every girl who acts in a way they don't like is going to end up alone with 20 cats, when that's not what happens.
Yes, but there is some merit in saying, you know, you probably have standards that are way too high and think that you're way more of a catch than you are, regardless of your sex.
Yes.
He even replied and added, yes, I have law school debt in an amount I would pay off in less than 3 years if I drew a U.S. salary. Okay, girl is looking for a green card.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I stayed in Canada splitting the bills with someone, I'd pay that off in under 6, I'd say, plus probably getting a minor inheritance in the next ... 6 to 8 years to throw at it.
That
anyway.
is so creepy.
That's weird. But anyway, so she has debt from going to law school. She has not even become a lawyer yet.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants a mildly trad setup, by her own words, because she does not want to work with young kids. So this is a career that she is planning to follow for maybe, 6 months at most.
Mm-hmm.
So
assuming
basically you're
that
looking for someone to bankroll your lifestyle, pay off your debt, and put up with, I mean, all of your annoying quirks that you've picked up in the last, 15 years of being an independent adult, and all of your selfishness and delusion. Like, I understand why people see this content and get rage baited by it. It's like starting to work on me.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, people, like the internet is, what was it that like Oxford Dictionary or one of these places listed rage bait as the word of the year this year? They have
not slop.
No.
I thought slop would be a runner-up.
No, it was rage bait was word of the year this year. It makes perfect sense. It's like every Am I the Asshole video. It feels like a story that's tailor made to enrage some people and make it a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I come across those Am I the A-hole posts, I do try to tell myself, like, no, this is just somebody on a rage bait sock account. Like, this isn't real. I can't believe these people are real because it's going to make me lose all faith in humanity.
Unfortunately, it exists. Like, I know people that prove, like, I know people like that prove that those things exist. It's sad.
Because their lives prove that it's possible to be that delusional.
Yep. All right, guys. Look, normally we'd be going into super chats right now, but like that's what we've got right now. So we'll run the setup. We've done the show. We got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be getting into with the rest of this week. What's the rest of our schedule this week? We're doing tomorrow's Wednesday, so we'll be doing Wednesday. We're going to be doing one more pre-record, I think.
Yeah, I can't even keep track of what day of the month or week it is at this point. Sorry.
Yeah, and then so we'll be here through Thursday, and then you're out of town on Friday.
Yes, I am. Okay.
And Monday.
So and Monday as well. So I'm going to be out of town for those days, and then we'll be back, and then it'll be Christmas after that week, I believe.
Yep.
Right?
And then we're back in the new year.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing videos, or at least I'm going to be doing some live streams during the Christmas break, not the first week, but the second week when we get into, going into the first week in January.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
I regret this because I did not grab my coffee out of the pantry, which is right next to me. But guys, you should go to castbrew.com and get yourself Mary's Ghost Blend, my s'mores flavored coffee, which I would usually show to you right now. I mean, it's a ghost coffee, so you can't see it right now. And you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived, and help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Remember, guys, so what we're looking at here now, we'll be doing the Wednesday pre-record. We will be, assuming all goes according to plan, we'll be doing Thursday live. Friday is still in the works. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with that. On Monday, Alex will be here, and I'm hoping to get another guest in studio for that one. That will be a lot of fun. Tuesday will be with Colonel Kurtz, and then Mary will be back on Wednesday. So it's all very different. It's all very up in the air, but we're doing our best to keep bringing you guys content going into the holiday season. Everything's all haphazard and all over the place. But again, if you want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is, it used to be here 5 days a week, but we've been in such a chaotic schedule right now that 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify, which is a great way to help the channel out. Also check out all the other all of the other audios that I've been putting out over there. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We will see you then. Bye, everybody.